Hey, sweet peas. I know that you're not in here yet, but you will be soon. Oh my goodness. I hope the holiday season has been treating you well. This is our last session of 2021. I'm kind of excited about it because I always love new beginnings. I always love new starts. And what better start than the start of another year? To me, it's just epic. I don't know. Maybe I'm a completist, is how I think of it, where I love completing cycles. I love ending a book. I love using all of a pen. I love using every sheet of paper in a journal. I'm that person. So I'm a completist. I'm always trying to finish something. So I'm excited to visit with you all today. Oh, I see a couple of you are here in the comments already. Oh my goodness. I'm excited to see your faces. Crystal, hello, hello, hello. Monique, hey, beautiful. Hey, girl. I'm sure we'll be able to read. I'm sure we'll be able to read. Hi, Anna. Or Anne, excuse me. There was no A at the bottom of that. Hey, Laurie, you're here. I was just thinking about, like, should I have messaged you ahead of time? But you're here. You beat me to the punch, love. I dig it. Hi, Teresa. I'm glad you're here. Dude, I'm just trying to light my incense real quick. It's like no session is complete without some overly fragrant, sometimes sneeze-worthy incense in the room. Something about it just makes it all together. Oh my goodness. There we go. You guys, I've been thoroughly enjoying my holiday. I'm sitting out in my treehouse and there's so much snow. So forgive me in advance if the camera keeps doing the whole like trying to gauge the white in the and it blows out the frame for a while. My bad. It's kind of what it is when you have all this white light bouncing into the lens. But you know, we'll work with it as we can. Gosh, you guys, it's almost New Year's. I'm like super excited about it. My goodness, I posted a moment ago about not wanting so much to hear your New Year's resolutions because I know we do those for days, but I wanted to hear your New Year's gratitudes because it's like there's so much to be thankful for. There's so much to be thankful for in advance that I think just sharing that with others and sharing that for yourself, I think it can do so much wonders to kind of help you already kind of get energetically in the mindset and the frame of allowing the things that you have game planned for yourself to show up. So I suggest you share with us what your New Year's gratitudes are in that post. Oh my goodness. Katrina, I'm glad you're here. You feel the same way about lighting candles? I know, something about just you have to have your lighting. Me myself being an Aries, I think that kind of leans into why I love fire, maybe a little much, but don't tell anybody. I did used to accidentally set things on fire when I was little. Yeah, ask my mom about that. But yeah, I hope you've been enjoying your holiday season. I have. If you can't tell, I'm getting holiday cheeks. It always takes a couple months for the cheeks to go back to normal. So if I'm smiling and it looks extra round, it's just because I've been enjoying my season. I've been making terribly wonderful food. I'm going to be making cornbread tomorrow. Oh my God, I made spice cake, and my son Jadis made us an apple pie. We've had so many great foods. It's showing up on my cheeks. So I just feel like a chipmunk, and for later. Hey, oh, Keilani, I'm so glad to see that you're here. She's actually a friend of mine, so it's nice to see her, Miss Second Daughter Tarot over there. She's also a reader, so I would definitely send people your way if for some reason they couldn't book with me. So she's one I would approve of. Speaking of that, you guys, I've been getting word about people who have accidentally given money to a person who was impersonating my face. So I have to apologize in advance because I'm so sorry that happened to these people. Luckily, they've let me know because that gives me the opportunity to report the account for scam, for whatever else that I can. But for whatever reasons, as of right now, their process is not including impersonation as against policies and community guidelines. I don't understand it. I don't have to like it, but I do at least do the due diligence that I can to report those accounts as they show up. So I just suggest that you continue to let me know. Please let me know if somebody shows up saying that they're me, or somebody saying, here, if you message me, I'll give you a reading. Please block, please report, If it's my face, send me the link to the profile. I will do the same on my end, and we'll do the best we can, because I'm sure with any industry, there's pariahs. With any area, it doesn't matter if it's spiritual, religious, fashion, food, there's fakes. There's people who are trying to get over on someone. It's unfortunate, but it seems to be a necessary evil in the business. But just think, without that chaos, without those charlatans, we wouldn't really appreciate our practitioners that we love so much as much as we do. So let me remind you how you can get in touch with me if that is ever something that you want to do. I have one method in which I do it. So anybody that's saying that they have other means, they're lying to you, okay? So the only way in which we book sessions is directly through my website. I don't send you a link. I don't give you my options through Messenger. I don't reach out saying I feel some kind of way, you need to reach me so I can speak to your ancestors. No. You schedule directly through my website, and it books and it pays, and you pick your time and it sends us the links, and that's how you schedule an appointment. The link to my website is directly in this post, and because I love you all so much, let me go ahead and put it in chat. Let me make sure. Oh, no, I don't need chat. I have a banner. I have a pre-made thing because I'm awesome and I thought about this. There you go. That is the website. That is the only way in which I book a session. And my only two methods in which I conduct readings are through Zoom, which is the only way that I do it, but either 30-minute or 60-minute increments. Anything else is not me, okay? So I'm going to continue to tell everyone until this is less of a problem. And when it's less of a problem, then we might refine. But till then, this is what it is, y'all. This is what it is. But yes, Sweet Pea. So my game plan today is to read for you for a little over an hour on basically anything that's important to you. I love to pull in the energy of our guides, our guardians, our ancestors to kind of help us get clarity or insight or knowledge, wisdom, relief, whatever it is that you're searching for. But I want to pull on whatever's important to you, whatever's important to you. It's the new year, maybe some info regarding what's going to be around the corner. That's always a good topic to dig into, but basically whatever you're interested in, we'll look into. So what I suggest that you do is go ahead and type out your question into the comments. I would suggest you copy your question because I make a point of reading for people who are here. So I will ask after every question, hey, go ahead, throw it into the comments. I'm just going to select the next one that I see. I'm not going to go out of my way to skip anybody. So no accusing me of skipping you. But I will select based on variety. So if I didn't choose you, it's not that I don't love you. Maybe I read a lot of work questions and now I need a romance question. We just choose as we see fit. Plural, right? Anywho, so I'm going to roll up my sleeves. I hope you're rolling up your sleeves too. I do suggest everyone takes like a nice little sitting in their seat, comfortable, deep breath, and just enjoy how chewy being able to breathe actually is. I don't know if you've ever had a cold, and sometimes you're just like, especially COVID. COVID has been making me so appreciative of my healthy lungs. I've never had COVID. I've been fortunate enough not to have had COVID around me, but it's going to be a point where almost everyone is either going to have it, know it, or experience someone who's had it. So we're getting close, y'all. But anywho, go ahead and take that one more breath just to kind of get us settled, get us chewy. And it also kind of gives me permission to kind of dig into your energy, dig into your questions, dig into the stuff that you're interested in talking about today. So, oh, Lori says she hasn't had any problems since she wrote me. Thank you. I'm glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. So yeah, you want to start pulling in some questions? You want to start pulling in some questions? I have to read comments though, because that's the fun stuff for me. So go ahead and throw in your questions. Now is a great time to do that. Copy it, remember, and I'll just pull in a moment because I want to see who's here still. Oh, Crystal says that she had COVID back in September. Hun. Well, I'm glad that you made it just fine. I still hear it's like still nothing you necessarily want to get. So I'm glad that you're okay. Oh my goodness. I love that your questions are coming in. Crystal's gotten some questions about January. You guys, I love it. Oh, you're making me so proud. Anna, I'm glad you're here. Sweet. Heather says that she had it last year for Christmas. Ooh, I'm glad you're okay. I'm glad you're okay. Have you ever heard of like the whole, what is it like? Long COVID? Is that what they're calling it? Is like when you're having symptoms after you've recovered? Please tell me you're okay. Miss Williams says that she just got over it this week. I'm glad that you're okay, hun bunch. I'm glad that you are okay. Oh, good. You are doing great. Perfect. All right. So we're going to scroll a little bit and we're going to select one. Let's see, let's see, let's see, let's see, let's see. Oh my gosh, you guys give me such great questions. I dig this. Let's try here. And so if you've never seen me work before, sometimes you'll see me sketch, or maybe you won't see me sketch because I'm sketching down over here. You'll see me doing something over on this side of the world. And also I'll use my cards to kind of shuffle. I might pull cards for your question and I may not, but mostly I'm just digging into my intuition. I'm seeing what information shows up for us. And then I share, and then I try to make you laugh. And then I try to be as crass and non precious as possible because that's what makes me happy. And I love to make you guys laugh. So let's just giggle with it. All right, my dear, may I ask, please, do you see B will be coming back into my life? Will B made my neck stiff. Will B be coming back into your life? Will B, what do we need to know about B in this situation? Let's see if your people will share with me what I need to know about that. Will be coming into your life. I'm so like, I love when I get very clear symbols or signs or visuals, and it's not literally a visual. It's not like I'm literally seeing something before my eyes because I literally see this before my eyes, but I get a flash of kind of like a daydream, and the daydream I had was dirty bathwater. And so I had to feel bad for a quick second, like, oh, I hope not. I hope that this isn't that kind of situation where it's like, okay, drain the water, let it go down the drain, let it go. It's dirty water, you don't want to climb back in it kind of thing. Usually when that shows up, that's what it's intending. So let me keep digging around. Let's keep digging around. Will be come back into your life. Honey. It's like every time I hop into it, what I'm feeling is it feels caustic. So not just toxic, but almost acidic. Like being in it is kind of bad for the health kind of situation. So it's like one of those, that situation always makes me want to like unpack it a little bit further because I'm like, ooh, why are we attracted to said toxic situation? Why are we wanting to pull that in? Is there some sort of pattern of behavior here that we need to understand, that we need to heal? And also, what is it, if we think of people that we're interested in being kind of mirrors of ourselves, then what part of that is in you? And that often needs to be healed too. But that's a longer session. That's a longer session. Maybe coming back into your life. Dude, okay. So I've gotten it 3 times now. And the way that I want to package it is that it feels like the situation like someone beating on the door, hypothetically, B beating on your door, him wanting to come back in, assuming him, I know it's a assumption, but them wanting to come in, but you trying to keep the door locked. Or that it's in your best interest to like slide the deadbolt, do the chain, lock the main one, put a brick in front of the door. Don't let them in. Don't let them in. Like it almost, oh my gosh, I wish I had better ways of describing some of the things that I'm seeing. It reminds me of when I was, sorry, I just had 2 visuals at the same time. So I had a memory of me being a little girl, and I used to live in a trailer. And across the way from me, I used to hear one of the neighbors fighting all the time. And I would have these little visuals in my mind of this domestic situation, the woman inside and the guy trying to beat the door down and that whole thing. So that was the visual that came to mind. And then 8 Mile showed up at the same time. I'm like, oh. So it gave me like 4 different visuals all at once. So if you're wondering, let's answer the question directly. Do you see B coming into your life? I feel like they are going to try to. I feel like they want to. I feel like it is not in anybody's best interest and maybe be unhealthy to do so. So in that regard, what needs to occur? What do we need to do? What do we need to do? I feel like you need support. I feel like you need girlfriends. I feel like you need people that you're close to that can kind of talk you through these situations, because I know that there's like the feeling of wanting to disconnect from the person, or that disconnecting from the person might be in your best interest, but not really knowing how. And it's really too easy to block them, then kind of go Facebook stalk them or something like that. So it helps to have people who've gone through this kind of situation to kind of coach you through it, kind of help you detox off the person per se. For instance, is the word that I meant to say, because it just it's making all of my flags go up. It's making all my bells ring. Like if I could move you out of state, I would. Is the feeling, and I usually don't get it so strongly. So it's like, oh yes, honey, oh yes. So I didn't like ruin your day. But please totally let me know if that lands, if that makes sense, if that even aligns, because watch me be way left field. I totally give room for that. I totally give room for that, but I want to understand. I want to understand. So totally let me know, my dear Anna, and we'll keep going further from there. So if you guys have a question, please feel free to go ahead and throw it into the comments. I would love to go ahead and pull on another question. And I see a few people that I need to say hello to. Did I see a YouTube person come in? Oh my gosh. Hello and Happy New Year to you too. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for hanging out. If you have a question that you'd like for me to read on, please go ahead and throw it into the comments. I do suggest you go ahead and copy your question, because we'll be pasting it after each question is read, because I like to read for people who are here. I like to read for people who are here. Let's see. Oh, I see Yasmina. Hello, love. All right, Miss Teresa, you wanted to ask a question. You're planning on going February the 3rd to the US to go see my fiance. And I just want to know if it's going to be a safe flight and a safe landing in the US. February 3rd. Okay, so the takeoff and the landing, not a hitch. Like, I feel like that's going to be business as normal, business as usual. I do want you to be careful about your health. Like, I feel like you're going to hit points of possible exposure along the way. And so it's like, if you could be like in an N95 with a cloth over it, I would. If you would be sanitizing everything you come in contact with, I would. It just feels like it's opening you up to exposure by doing that travel. But the flight itself feels like a walk in the park. So I have no worries at all about the walk in the park. The flight itself. It's just your exposure points is what's making me nervous for you. But I also understand, dude, it's your fiance. You know, you want to maintain those relationships. We need to make them chewy and stronger, and that's love. And sometimes we will risk our lungs for love. So of course, do what you see fit. Please be safe. Please be safe and take care of yourself, okay? But the flight itself feels just fine. Feels just fine, darling. So I hope that answers your question, Sweet Pea. I hope that answers your question. So yes, if you have a question, please feel free to go ahead and throw it in the comments, and we'll just keep this going. We'll just keep this going. Ew. Let's see. Oh, that's funny. Anna said thank you. I appreciate it, Sweet Pea. And then the funny thing, I hope it will make sense eventually. I understand. Often, okay, so if your situation is the way that I'm feeling that it was, often we don't understand what is happening until way after the fact. And that's okay. That is totally okay. You're going to go through it exactly the way you're going to go through it. If you ever need somebody to hold your hand through it, I'm one. Come and visit with me, honey. I do not mind holding your hand, even if you're doing some toxic shit. I will talk you through it. I will talk you through it. But thank you so much for your question originally. I love it. Oh, you already did that one. Or I already did that one. All right, my dears. I'm going to scroll down. Ooh. Deborah, your daughter is spooked. Okay, her boyfriend's guitar mysteriously strummed at 3 a.m. Ooh, I think it was a visitor. It woke them both up. Very cool. Because I understand that the more items you have available for your loved ones to manipulate, the more likely they are to. So I've seen, excuse me, got a message. There you go. I've seen comments and conversations surrounding like text messages coming in after the loved one who owns that number has passed. I've heard of toys just turning on, like little noisy toys just turning on. Like there's almost anything under the sound and under the moon, excuse me. And if you think of a musical instrument as basically a manipulation of energy, and spirit and your loved ones are basically energy personified, yeah, that totally seems doable to me. Was it a visitor? That's a good question. What was it that strummed the guitar? Ooh, sorry, I had a like a okay. So the visual that was given to me was like a little person, for instance, a kid, that was fascinated by the guitar, and then by like observing it and playing with it, accidentally activated it, and then kind of like got spooked himself and like bolted. So everybody got startled, but it felt playful and um non-malicious. Of course, it felt like a young energy, or a young, if it wasn't a literally a young person or a kid, it felt like a lighthearted something. um I, because just the visual I have is like if the guitar is like kind of on the ground or in a stand, and it's leaning into its stand, and little person, creature, whatever it happens to be, is just like, oh my gosh, there's these strings, they do these things, and runs. Because it's just the spooking, but if it just feels playful and sweet. So something that you can do if it happens again and it's irritating or it's off-putting, you can maybe like speak a little like agreement into the room. Like, okay, so I know that you're interested in the guitar. I love that you're interested in the guitar. No guitar after midnight. No guitar when we're in bed. And maybe give them some boundaries as to when they can play if they want to. Like, so long as they play respectfully, so long as they don't damage it by doing XYZ, like lay out your boundaries. Just because they're not there physically doesn't mean that they aren't there energetically and can't understand what you're dealing with or going through. So maybe just throw out some boundaries. Might be a useful way to connect with whatever is there and just show that, hey, we can share space and not wake us up in the middle of the night. So it's just an idea. It's just an idea. I hope that helps. I hope that helps. Ooh, hi, Tammy. I don't know if I'm going to read your question yet, but I was just saying hi from YouTube because I always love it when I see YouTube come in. So I'm just going to keep scrolling. Oh, you're very welcome, Sweet Pea. I appreciate it. Oh, there we go. One long note strum. That is very cool. Something that he can or they can do if they have any what is it, loved ones that might have had like an attraction to music or an attraction to the guitar, usually people who have that affinity. For instance, just say a hypothetical situation, if the boyfriend has the guitar, is the owner of the guitar, but his father or his grandfather was also a musician, he might be attracted to the energy of the guitar because of what occurs when musicians play. It might be another way to kind of connect to whatever it is that's visiting, just as a thing. Okay. You guys have great questions. I dig it. I dig it. Okay. Veronica. Let's see. Will you ever be financially comfortable? Let's dig into that, hun bunch. Will you ever be financially comfortable? Sorry, I'm just sketching at the same time. It kind of just helps the tune in. Financially. What is it? Okay, so let me give you some points of view, because when we ask the question, will I ever, it then becomes a choice. One, do you want to? Because you can want something and like resent it at the same time. It is a possibility, and it happens a lot, especially when it comes to money, especially when it comes to success, especially when it comes to responsibilities, things of that nature. Sometimes we want money, but we don't want to give the money away to like our family, our friends, or other people that might want the money once we've had it. So we've kind of accidentally set our money on fire so that nobody can ask for it. I've seen that a lot of times. But for you specifically, hopping out of that example, for you specifically, will I ever be financially stable? That is a choice that you get to make. But there's choices along the way that can lead to what financially stable means for you. And that might be a question worth looking into. What does financial stability mean? What does the numbers of financial stability look like? Do you know the numbers? Not just abstractly, but do you literally know if you could live comfortably, if you could live paying off all of, financial obligations, if you could live luxuriously, if you could have financial freedom, what do those numbers look like? What are those triggers at? Because the thing is, often we think millions of dollars will help us feel financially comfortable. And then you do the math and you're like, actually, that's just like 2 pay raises away. I could be financially comfortable 3 years from now. Like, if you know your numbers, you know where you're aiming for. You can also make better financial decisions if you know where it is you're heading. Will you ever be? I feel like one of the things that would benefit you, though, is expanding your financial knowledge. Because like the skill set and the tools that you have right now are not going to be enough to get you to where you want to go. So maybe do some digging on, gosh, there's so many people available on YouTube. There's so many people available through books. There's so many courses even. So the knowledge is out there. The knowledge is free. It's just finding either someone's philosophy that you agree with, or that kind of resonates for you, or, sorry, I got a tidbit and I'm wondering what that tidbit was. Who would work well for you? Oh, I know the name. Hold on. No, I want to find it. I want to find it super fast. Anthony, Thony, not Bourdain, not Fauci, not Hopkins. Okay, I'm gonna find it. It's the guy that was in relation to. Hold on, it's gonna come. Black guy I used to work with. Not Robbins. The other money guy. What's the other money guy? It's like I feel like I'm on a quiz. I should know this. Anthony. Let's just see money. Money YouTube. See, now y'all have me on a mission. Anthony O'Neill. Anthony O'Neill. Oh, poo, that was fast. Sorry, I just got realized somebody's going in here. So I'm going to go ahead and there you go, Lori. Thank you so much. Can you get the readings by Paris person, please? She is my moderator, and so I suspect that she is going to block the person, and as she's able to, she'll delete those comments. So, oh, that ended pretty quickly, so she got it. Oh, maybe not. She's working on it, I'm sure. I promised her I'd give her the opportunity to kibosh people, because sometimes I do it too fast, and she doesn't have the opportunity to actually do it. Hold on. I think she might have gotten it. Oh, darn. Okay. So, Lori, I want to block them, but if you could then go and delete their comments, that would make me exceedingly happy. Oops. I blocked the wrong person. So sorry. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Give me a second. I'm totally going to add on more time for you guys as we deal with these lovely situations. So let me block that user. Oh, I did it again. No, I didn't block anyone though, but it moved. Lori says she accidentally blocked somebody too, so I will definitely be going in there and unblocking people later. Block. Okay, now I don't know who I click on. Doing it again. Hold on. Hold on. We're gonna get this. We're gonna get this. Block user. No! Oh, Crystal! Let me screenshot her so I can find her again because otherwise she never shows back up. I'm so sorry. Y'all reach out to Crystal and tell her I'm sorry. I did not mean to do that. Reading by that person to Paris. Okay. I think I got her or got the thing. You guys, my bad. Alrighty. Anyway, as we were circling back, the person that I was referring to was Anthony O'Neill. He is a modern money guy. He's also a money guy who's a person of color. And so I love that he puts money in an approachable, realistic, logical, accessible sort of way. And money philosophy, relationship with money, it's more than just energy. It's more than just the woo. It's more than just the working enough to make the ends meet. And so I love what he does for the community regarding money. So here's a link to his YouTube. I strongly suggest that you either copy it and keep it, or you go there when you're able. He's a good guy. Good guy. So my bad. I'm so sorry if I blocked somebody on accident. Please tell her that I'm so sorry. But I will figure it out. I'll figure it out and get her back in here. So yes, if you have a question, please feel free to go ahead and throw it into the comments. And I don't even mind if you do it on repeat, because I'll find it eventually. Okay, Miss Joanna. Joanna. Is it Joanna or Joanna? Hmm. You're buying a house. We're going to close on the 12th, or will it be delayed due to an appraisal issue? Let's see what shows up for us, Sweet Pea. Oh, hey, Tammy. And I see your question, Sweet Pea. Thank you so much for that. You're buying a house. Joanna. My incense is smoking up the place. I love it. Oops. I'm going to start a fire. Let's see. Are you going to be able to close on time? We're going to be able to close on time. I'm looking around because I'm trying to follow the feeling, follow the where it's moving for me. It's so vague. It's usually not that vague. Why is it so vague? Hold on. See, now I need answers. Then be able to close. Okay, so the feeling that I'm getting is kind of pushing a rock uphill or a snowball uphill, pushing something uphill, like it's a little bit of an uphill battle. There's a lot of effort against something to get this done. Well, you're buying a house. Okay, something that keeps showing up for me, just a question, and if you haven't, or if you don't know, totally okay. What something about your pipes or the pipes in the house, or like not just the appraisal, but like an inspection that dug into the pipes is kind of like a recurring something for me. So did that occur, or is that something that you're looking into getting done? Because it feels like that issue might hold things up a little bit, but not so much the appraisal itself. Like I feel like the appraisal is getting done exactly the way it needs to get done. It feels like though there's something else that might slow it up a bit, but not terribly. It's like it brings the attention and then we have to make a decision and then we decide to do this or that, or we augment our offer because of this or that. Like I feel like there's just one more detail is kind of the feeling. Does that make sense? You'll totally have to let me know if it does, Sweet Pea. There you are. Let's see if there's anything else in there. Anything else? Because I think your main thing is will it close, what is it, the 12th? Okay, so the 12th seems possible, but a little iffy. I think it might be shortly thereafter, but not by far, not like next month, next year or anything. It feels like if it's the 12th that it's scheduled, then maybe closer to like the 15th or the 19th, but not too far after. Like it feels like gonna be okay. Oh, so you said that you had a septic inspection that failed the first time, but passed the second. Gotcha. Now we're struggling to find an appraiser to come out, and the soonest that they have was the 12th, but they needed to put a rush order in. Gotcha. I don't, okay. It feels like it's just, it's like it's possible, but, and so I'm wondering what that but is. Those freaking extenuating circumstances when people go left instead of going right. What is that? Okay. So the way it's kind of coming for me is that there's nothing to worry about until there's something to worry about. So it's just like plan for the 12th, go for the 12th. If it doesn't happen for the 12th, it's okay. It'll be shortly thereafter because it's not too far off kind of thing. It's not never going to happen. It's just, it has its process. It's got its thing. It failed the first time. It did okay the second time. It feels like shortly thereafter, but not very far. But not very far. That's gonna be my final answer. If that makes sense. I hope that lands for you, hun. And is this a house that you're buying or a house that you're selling? Because I'm pretty sure you told me, but you know, this is what happens. We lose the You lose it after a while. Let's see. Oh, you're buying a house. That's right. You're buying the house. So it failed the first time, passed the second time. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. I want a certainty and I don't have it. And I hate when that happens because it's just there's too much in the air, like the things haven't been ironed out to give like a high probability. Okay, so let's put it on a scale. 0, never gonna happen. 100, happening tomorrow. Or certain like the sun's coming up tomorrow, it's happening. Blah blah blah. It feels more like 47% that it's on the 12th. So it's not a no, but it's like coming up a little bit, but not super promising. But I hope that makes sense. I know it's like splitting hairs, but I hope that makes sense. But thank you so much for that question as I dig into probabilities and time and all that fun stuff. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. So yeah, go ahead and throw your question into the comments. I just want to scan through real quick so I can see who's all here. My Candace, hello, Sleepy. Oh, Pamela. Simone. Esther. That makes, oh, thank you for the comment. Makes you feel better. We just scheduled our stuff to be transferred on the 12th, so we'll be like, ah! Thank you. Houses we are buying. You told me a couple years ago, in a year or two, we'd be buying in Florida instead of Washington, and that came true. So cool. And I'm hoping you're right about this too. Dude, I give room for being wrong. And I know that that is like one of those situations. It's like, well, it's your job to be right. I'm like, it's your job to live your life. And your life has infinite possibilities around it. I feel like all I get to see is the likely possible outcomes based on your choices, your circumstances, the things that are going on around you. And that's what I dig for. That's what I look for. But I do hope that it goes according to plan. I hope it is seamless. That's what we'll pray for, a seamless transition on the 12th, and that you are surprised and delighted. That's what we're going to aim for. That's what we're going to aim for. So I'm sure you've been throwing your questions in. Thank you so much. So my Candace, hey, sweetheart, will the sale of the property under contract be under contract by end of January? Luckily, I have no clue what that means. These are one of those conversations where I'd be like, okay, if you were sitting in front of me during the session, like, so what does that mean? Like under contract, this is something I need to know about. Feel free to throw in that comment if you want to. If not, totally ignore me, hun. But I'm just gonna aim for the yes or no under contract kind of thing. Let's see. Will the sale of the property be under contract? Maybe that's, see, sale of things. When it comes to property, I know the exchange of products and goods. I don't know property or real estate. So that's the other thing. We all have our strong points. Will the sale of the property be under contract by the end of January? End of January. Remember that scale that I just gave a moment ago? I feel like yours is a little bit more of a firmer no. And I hope I'm not breaking hearts, start making people sad, but it feels like January is almost an unrealistic expectation for what is occurring or what's going on with the situation. January feels like super optimistic, but almost like unrealistic. And I mean, I'm all for optimism. I'm all for, doing the plan because things like to happen. Things like to happen. You never know what can occur. But as of right now, under contract by end of January, everything I'm feeling is like a hard, like not so much. Not so much. I wonder what do we need to do? Is there anything that can be done? Ooh, I love those questions. Is there anything that can be done to kind of speed that up? Or what do we need to know? What do we need to know? Let's aim that way. What do we need to know? Okay, so the feeling that I'm getting, and I don't know if this is true in any way, shape, or form, but the feeling that I get is like someone who's holding a bunch of papers, trips, falls, papers go everywhere. So I feel like whoever is in charge of the work or in charge of doing the forms for the stuff, forms for the contract per se, like there's something there that drops the ball. So it's not that, you've done anything wrong or that whoever is selling it has done anything wrong. I feel like whoever is doing the legwork surrounding the contract portion has kind of like, oh shit, and has to like scoop everything back up, resort whatever they have, and then get back on it. Does that make sense? What else do we need to know? It feels like patience. Like that was the second word that just showed up, was just have patience with it, because it's going to take as long as it's going to take. It's going to take as long as it's going to take. So there's no sense in feeling the need to rush it or feeling the need to get it over with, kind of thing. Is there anything else? Because the feeling I'm getting alongside of it is the slight of anxiety in advance. It's like worrying about stuff that hasn't even happened yet, and worrying about what are you going to do when, what are you going to do if, what are you going to do then, it's like having 19 contingency plans and nothing's even occurred yet. Like that tends to drive people a little bit crazy. Like don't do that to yourself if at all possible. What else do you need to know? Candace, what else do we need to know? It comes back to patience. Okay, so if at all possible, literally 2 words, it's just patience and don't worry about it. Like, don't worry about it. It's going to happen the way it's happened. Patience, don't worry about it. Maybe that's your guides taking care of it. It's like, we got this. It's fine. But it legit just feels like patience and don't worry about it, hun. Yeah, it feels easy. I hope that makes sense, Sweet Pea. I hope that makes sense. Totally let me know how that lands for you, because I do not mind hearing about how these reads land for you during the time or overtime. It's always fun to hear back. Yay! I love the high. So if you have your question, go ahead and throw it into the comments. We're just going to keep going until it's about time to go. So we still have about 20 plus minutes to read. So yeah, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's see. Ooh. Here we go. My darling, my darling. You'd love a reading. And of course, you get one. Should you crowdfund for a second edition of your deck, or should I just get some retail partners and go for it that way? Good question. Good question. Also, crowdfund or retail? Crowdfund or retail? Huh. The thing that's coming to mind is whatever gives you more freedom. What gives you more freedom? Because I could only imagine that crowdsourcing, Kickstarter, Indiegogo, whatever it happens to be, your personal campaign, can be a lot of legwork. Sourcing, liaison, doing the stuff. Well, or you could just repeat what you've already done. So that's not too bad, but just still feels like a lot of work. I feel like if there's any way that you can outsource that work to somebody else, then maybe look at that as an option for your second deck. But I want more freedom for you. I don't want another ball and chain. Does that make sense? And totally let me know if it does, because it's just everything that's coming up for me with this project. I want to make sure that you have freedom from it, not more responsibility, more obligation, more people to be accountable to. What else? What would give you more freedom? See, I think that's what it's coming down to, is that there's this hybrid model that we haven't explored yet. Because I love how much control you have when you kickstart it yourself, for instance. But I dislike how much control is removed when you get published by US Games or Llewellyn or Hay House or whoever it happens to be. So if there is a hybrid model of some sort where you can... It's snowing. Sorry. I just looked up and realized it's snowing. If there's some sort of hybrid model that gives you control of a kickstarted, crowdfunded, but you don't have to do the packaging, the shipping, the blah, the blah, the blah. That would be my ideal situation based on your circumstances. I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Sorry, I was gazing at this moment, but I hope that makes sense. Oh, you had that feeling too. Oh my goodness. It's the same deck with a Japanese translation in the book. Very cool. Kickstarter was such a hassle. Understood. Understood completely. Oh, there it goes. Dun dun. Groovy. So, you know what? Look, who. I had an idea for you. If it's possible, maybe actually tap our tarot community to see if they have any hybrid models available to you. Because we know Kickstarter, we know mass published, we know these things. But people like Benabel, people like Chris Ann, people like, some of the other juggernauts in our industry have done healthy hybrids that might be useful. So maybe use them as a resource to see like what information you can garner, if at all possible. Just if at all possible. But I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. But yes, Sweet Peas, go ahead and throw your question into the comments. Throw your question in. Let's see. Oh, you're very welcome, hon. You're very welcome. Ooh. You guys always make me so proud when you have such chewy questions. It makes me excited to be here, excited to read for you, excited to bring you back, and me come back each week. So I love it. I love it. So Tammy Ann wants to know, am I moving in the right direction with my new business venture? Any direction or advice as I look to expanding myself professionally? Sweet. Well, Miss Tammy, I love to know what you're doing because that will give me the broad strokes, but also understand little nuances of the work that you're doing. So let me dig into it real quick though. And feel free to throw that in as you can. Moving in the right direction with your business. Okay. Moving in the right direction. Let me see. So I'm getting a little bit at first. What is this? Okay. There's one element that I am feeling. I'm trying to understand it. Give me a second. So the primary feel that I'm getting is the speed in which you're moving um, may be a little too far, too fast, too soon, but no one is judging your ambition. So it's not about your ambition. What I'm suggesting or inviting you to look at is the infrastructure that is supporting your idea. The infrastructure surrounding your no, that's actually it. The infrastructure supporting your idea, making sure that you have the foundation that is solid enough, that's been I'm getting like reinforcements and shored up and secure and prepared for before shooting up. Like if you're a tree, for instance, spread your roots out a little bit further so you can further expand upwards. Because no one is like saying don't do that. It's more of just like hold on. Before you shoot up, make sure your roots look good. Make sure you've pruned off the ones that don't work. Make sure you know exactly what your North Star is for your business, the thing that it is that your business does better than anybody else. Make sure that you have those things that are cleared and spelled out. Why do I want to look at your branding? Like I feel like your branding and your messaging is good, but could use refinement. Like the feeling I'm getting is like touch of sophistication with it. Even if it's a playful brand, it's like there's still elements that could use a honing, use a sharper edge. Oh, what else do we got in there? What else do we need to know about your business? I feel like you understand your financials, so I love that. What else? You're one of those people that knows their numbers. Dig it, dig it, dig it. I almost feel like I'm wondering, and totally let me know if this even applies to your business at all, but I'm almost thinking about your B2B connections could improve. Maybe like your vendors or your partners or whoever it is you source with, those could improve. Huh. I wonder what your business is. I'm gonna scroll for Tammy. Ah, local healing spiritual collaborative. Awesome. I love that. What else? What else? What else? What else do I need? Yeah, I'm getting the loop back on the stuff that we'd already talked about. So refining your professionalism, your edge, the stuff that you do, understanding your North Star of your work, local healing. Because even though you're part of a collaborative, ooh, good question. If you're part of the collaborative, are you still your own business inside that collaborative, or are you an employee of that collaborative? Ooh, are you the owner of the collaborative and you're doing it for others? See, these are these questions that we can answer if we're like right here. But this is the fun part. Let's see. We're not going to go into those details just yet, unless you share them with me, then I'll totally will chew on them. But the feeling that I was getting, just circled back, you understand your numbers, you understand the business end of this. So I love that that is not lost on you. The direction of the business, I love the ambition, but I feel like if you could rein it back, maybe like a few miles per hour, just a little bit, so that your foundation can, it's like having, sorry, I got the perfect example, and it was allowing your concrete to set was the example. Oh, here we go. We're all bringing our own trees, sharing them with a team of 3 people. Okay, gotcha. Then that, oh, well, that partnership actually makes sense then, because that triad is going to be a new relationship even. And so you guys are going to need to treat it like such and make it very clear as to what your responsibilities, boundaries, opportunities, what does what and when. These are the expectations. These are what we're hoping for. And if anybody has like an issue, to bring it up, not just sit on it indefinitely, or run off to the side with the other part of the triad, to stay open. Think of it almost like a poly relationship. Like, what boundaries and responsibilities and negotiations need to occur to make sure that that relationship is healthy? Because the healthier the group is, the better work all of you will do. Make sense? Oh, hold on. Got a tidbit. What is it? All right, honey. One of the things I am getting is one of the group might vacate after a while, but that's okay. It's going to leave an availability for a better arrangement to show up. There's something about that one in particular. What is it? Let me give you the visual that I'm kind of getting and see if it even lands or makes sense for you. But I'm hypothetically putting myself in your position, and then I'm understanding the dynamic as a triad. So that to me makes people here, like, well, here and here. There we go. Give you my camera view, here and here. So the feeling that I was getting is that the relationship with me, you, and the other person here is good. The relationship between me and this person is a little bit wonky, and a little wonky in general. So it's just like, it feels like there's something going on in that person's personal situation that turns into like a little bit of a black hole and needs to have them vacate the dynamic. And so it then turns into just the duality between you. I feel like that allows you the opportunity to kind of expand a little bit, to kind of fill up some of that space, and then open yourself up, or open the 2 of you up to somebody else that can walk in and fill the space a little bit more solidly, instead of because it goes from feeling like a feather to feeling like a rock. So from being like whimsy to being like, nope, this is solid. You're an earthy practitioner. You do exactly what is necessary. You know exactly what's going on. You design the life that supports this work. So that's what felt up. That's what felt. Oh my goodness, you said one of the partners is your twin sister. Ooh, I wonder if that's your twin that's gonna be like a little wonkadoo. But you never know. Maybe not. Maybe it's the other person. That's really cool though. Your twins. I always wanted to know like what spiritual work was like between 2 halves of the same genome. I will have to explore that in one of my next lives or something, being a twin. But I hope that makes sense, Tammy, because I know that was detailed in a way that was a little unexpected based on what I was getting. So I was just like, I wanted to make sure I shared. So yeah, Sweet Peas, if you have a question, please feel free to go ahead and throw it into the comments. I think I'm going to give us another about 15 minutes or so, because I do have a client session at 3:30 my time. So I have to make sure that I'm off beforehand so I can kind of and then hop in. Oh, it does. Perfect. Thank you. All right, sweet souls. Ooh, Heather. Is Thomas your twin flame? So, as pure transparency, okay, hun? I have an interesting relationship with the twin flame dynamic. I don't have it as a lived experience that I can say either does or does not exist per se, but I fully respect that, hey, that's the process that you're working with. So it's my job to hop in and do the same. So that's what I'm going to look at it as. So forgive me in advance if I'm using wrong language or inaccurate terminology. It's just not a lived experience that I have. So is this person what you would consider your twin flame? Okay, it makes me want to put a pin in it. And let me tell you why. Because I understand, or what I understand of the twin flame dynamic is that it is often a complicated spiritual connection between you and other people. I look at that same lens and think of it like a member of my soul group that I have continued work to do. I don't necessarily consider myself like an individual flame that's separated into bits and pieces, but I consider myself part of source energy and the rest is, in the pieces. So why not use the same language here? Is this person, okay, let me use this language. I feel like this person is a member of your soul group. However, I want to make sure that we peel off any obligations or responsibilities that label suggests. That I don't feel like is responsible. Is the word that shows up for it. But if you guys have done this before, done this being like this ring around the planet, this doing life together, sharing space and time with each other, I feel like you've done that before. However, this twin flame thing, I feel like we need to dismantle it's the aspect of the ideology that I'm not okay with, and that's okay. I feel like it's the sometimes obligatory portion that I have to, or we have to, or that means something, that means more, or this means there's more value here because of this label. If we put the label down for a quick second, it's more of you and I have chosen to do work together. Now, what that work is, we'll decide and figure it out as we go. But we're both here by choice. There is nothing saying we have to work this out together. There's nothing saying that we have to do X, Y, and Z. We have chosen to do work together, and we'll do work with others, and we'll continue life either in tandem or apart or around each other. But for now, this is what we're doing. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I did not see Esther's question, so I might scroll back up. And Sandrine, I saw you invite her, so yeah, I'll make sure I see it. Does that make sense, Sweet Pea? Miss Heather? Oh, Jesus. So fast. She says, thank you. Thank you. Good. I hope that makes sense. Because I know I just dug into that, but the thing I did feel certainly was the fact that you guys have done this before. Yeah. So to me, that means you're part of a cohort of souls that are working together for a particular goal. Got it. Okay. Now, the aspect to the twin flame relationship that I don't sometimes understand is the feeling of obligation or destiny, or how do you want to use that word? There's a million words you could use here. But I think you get where I'm going for it. That's the part that I don't understand, that I don't think applies here. And I will say that even though I don't understand it, There's nothing here that's telling me it's above my pay grade or it's just something I don't comprehend yet. It's more of that doesn't apply, if that makes sense. Because I fully expect there is shit in this universe that I just don't understand, right? Like anything. I know a lot about some, and I'm good with that, and I'm an expert in my few little niches, and I'm perfect with that. There is stuff that's just above my pay grade, and that one may be one of them, and I think that's totally okay too. But I hope that makes sense. I made some distinctions there that I hope landed and made sense. And also, if that is something that you want to dig further into, maybe reach out specifically to a specialist, someone that reads on that relationship dynamic specifically. And that might be really, really useful. You say we marry each other and we help each other grow to into the best version. See, my thought is that every relationship you have is that mirror. So because that is something that I've recognized in every relationship dynamic that I've ever had, is that the reason that I'm attracted to them is because they are a mirror of myself. If they were not, then they probably wouldn't even register. They would just, go that way. But every relationship you are is an opportunity. Every relationship that you're in is an opportunity to see yourself and do work, do healing, exercise, old traumas, old behaviors, and become bigger than the sum of your parts. And it is so cool when you can do that with another person. I feel like me and my wife are like that, but her and I both don't consider each other twin flames. We don't use the term soulmate with each other, but we do understand and recognize that we've done this dance. We chose this. We came in together knowing that we're going to be teammates and we're going to come in and conquer the world. We're going to do some shit and have some great ass fun along the way. And that to me tells me the label doesn't matter, but that's just for me. That's just for me. So I hope that makes sense. Let me scroll through. We're still good for time. Okay, so Sandrine. See, those are better questions. If that's what you want to know, that's what should be, that's what we should dig into. That's what we should dig into. Esther, sweet. Okay. Thank you, Sandrine. I'm giving Esther some special attention because my dear sweet Sandrine brought her in to say hello, and I am glad to see your face, Sweet Pea. So thank you so much for coming to visit. So your question is, or you're talking to me about your brother passed last January. I'm sorry to hear about your loss, my Sweet Pea. You want to ask if your brother has tried to communicate or contact you, not me, but you. Let's see what shows up for us, hon. Your brother. Can you go ahead and drop in his name for me? Because I feel like sometimes that can kind of help me like connect and see if he'll either like walk in the room kind of, for instance, or just visit with us a little bit. Your brother. So I'm hopping into the energy of the situation between you and your brother, and I feel like my breath has literally been taken away. So I'm wondering, I have a couple wonderings. I don't know if that's how he passed, if like, for instance, his heart or his lungs issue, or if maybe, because I hop into your energy, if the loss of your brother essentially was like taking your breath away. Because that's the feeling that I'm getting, is that, not quite able to catch, and you can't breathe in enough to make that feeling go away kind of thing. So I'm going to keep an eye on your comments because I definitely want to keep up with you. There we go. Nathaniel. Okay, let's see what shows up for you. Because I know your question is, has he tried to contact you or communicate? Contact you or communicate. Was he the older brother? Because he has this like big brother presence to him. Like slightly protective, but that he feels physically bigger. Like if I put myself in your shoes, he feels bigger than me. And so I don't know if he's just like taller and bigger than me, or if he was like literally the bigger brother, because often, even they can be the little brother and still be like the protective type. So I can totally understand that. Let's see what shows up. Nathaniel. What do you know? So again, I'm just trying to like feel my way around. I will answer the question directly, but I feel like he's giving me a little bit just to start off with. He was the younger brother, but sorry, let me show you this. He was the younger brother, but he was taller than you in the protective type. So got that. Got that. Okay, something that he keeps giving me, you're the best. Or you were the best. You're the best. Yeah, he's definitely trying to get me to revise the were. Like, pull out the word. Don't do that. But you're, Y-O-U, apostrophe R-E, the best. Aww, I love that. Let's see what else he wants to share. Your brother. He's okay, so the way it's coming to me is that he's inexperienced with my level of communication. So he's giving me a lot. And I feel like I'm watching a really fast movie. And I'm like, wait. We gotta slow it down because I can't follow you, hun. You gotta slow it down a little bit. So let's answer the question originally. Has he tried to contact you? He's basically kind of putting it, he's never really left the room per se. Um, there's this feeling of needing you there, or using the words he needs me there, or she needs me there, something needs me there. So there's not the leaving you. So if there's ever been a worry about the separation between you and them, it's not so much he's literally gone, just think of him in the other room kind of thing. Um, oh, because he's okay, so hypothetically, if he's in the other room, he's never been out of contact. So he hears you all the time. Hmm. He's giving me feels of when you've been sad about it. Sorry, I'm getting like the feels of when you've been sad about his loss, which I thoroughly would expect. But then the revisit of childhood when we were happier together, kind of thing. Because I feel like when you guys played, it was just the two of you, and there was a whole other world that was happening, just the two of you, kind of thing. Was it just the two of you? So I was trying to see like if there was other siblings, and it feels like you could say there's other siblings, like hypothetically, maybe he had, there's ways to add siblings, but I feel like between the two of you, it was you. I'm gonna follow your comments here in a second. What else we got in here? He's giving me a visual about giving you something that you would have put on your. I don't know if like I can't quite feel where it is, but it's giving me like I assume it's jewelry or something like that, some adornment. So it feels like a thing. And sometimes when it's like that, it's like all the thing, and it's like a glove. I've had that happen before, but this feels like something interesting. I wonder, like, okay, so visual I'm getting is kind of like what do you call it, a bracelet that has like the link to the ring. That was kind of the visual that showed up, or something kind of like that. Cool. I don't know. And if that was a definite no, like no worries, hon. We'll just keep going. We'll keep an eye. Aw. We have other siblings. Gotcha. It was a charm bracelet. Oh, was it a charm bracelet? I guess it could be. But she'd be the only one that would be able to tell me. But I do feel like when it comes to the two of you, like that was the feeling that he gave me, was like the two of you being in your own little imaginary world and kind of like hunkered down on something, playing. I don't know if it was GI Joes and Legos, but it was just like you two playing together. Excuse me. What else? Nathaniel. Yeah, I'm trying to hop back into like, have you ever, or have you been trying to reach out? And the way that he puts it is that he's never been out of contact. So I guess to answer the question more directly, has he ever tried? He's never been away to not try, to not be gone. It's kind of the way it's getting put together. It's like I've never left for it to, I've never stopped, kind of thing. I'm sorry that I'm coughing. Now my eyes are watering. Excuse me. I might have to mute myself so I can cough some more. What else do I need to know? Yeah, the way he keeps circling back. I've never been out. I've never been out of contact. I've never been away. I've never been gone. I've always been here. So I guess then maybe a question to follow up for you, hun, is like, what is it that's been either you're doubting the communication or you're doubting what you're seeing or you're not quite believing what's showing up for you when it does? Because I feel like he's talking to me briefly about signs. Like I feel like there's an arrangement for signs in maybe he's been trying to do the signs, but it's not showing up in the one specific way we've been asking for the sign. And so because of that one, we've been doubting all the rest. Oh, I feel like he wants, he'd rather, oh, what is it? He'd love to do something as big as lightning bolts in the sky kind of thing, but it's easier to do things that are soft like feathers. Was kind of the visual and the approach that he just gave me. You want a big display of communication. I wonder if you would literally like for him to manifest before you, kind of thing. Like if you want that kind of situation. What else? Yeah, the feeling I'm getting is that you would love the theatrics and the big display, but this is the stuff that's a little bit more accessible and easier to hear. I used to dream about him a lot, and so I was wondering why. Because he's around. Why not? Especially, okay, so let me clarify something in that regard. When we're dreaming about people, that can be a visit, that can be communication, that can be a whole host of things, but it can also just be that that person's essence has manifested in our dreams. Our subconscious has conjured them into our dreams. And the difference I usually find is more of point of view and perspective. So if, for instance, you're in a conversation engaging with your brother, using you as the example, then that could be a visit. If your brother is over there playing basketball, then probably your brother is either literally playing basketball over there, or maybe it's just that carefree feeling of family, or that doing that thing you used to love to do. Like there's lots of nuances when it comes to dreams that only really apply when you're doing dream interpretation. It only applies when you know the symbolism that your brain uses. I don't even know if that makes sense, but I think it does. But if you're wanting to know if your dreams are him, possibly, very likely, also not. So yes, he can be there, and yes, he cannot be there, because both apply, both happen, and both work. But to discern between either of them is context and meaning, and usually a visit will feel different. I've only had one visit from my grandmother, and I talk to her daily. Now, my mom, who doesn't talk to her at all, dreams about my grandmother often. And each visit feels different for her. And I've only had the one, and I've only said the two words in my dream. She said two words back. And that was all. That was all I got from my grandmother. But I talked to her. I have an engaged life with her now, more so than when she was alive. So maybe I don't need the dream so much as I did that one time. And maybe for you, the same. And if you want a visit specifically, if you want to get in like that kind of communication, you can ask for them to visit you in your dreams, and just give it some time for them to show up. It may not be right away. I figure that time is this dimension construct. And since they're on a different dimension, sometimes I would suspect it takes them a second to either get the message or to make the arrangements to get the message taken care of. So it's not that they're ignoring you or not paying attention or not getting it done. I feel like sometimes there's things that we don't understand. If that makes sense. Oh, Ebony says that her phone died and she almost missed the whole session. You sure did, Sweet Pea. Well, you guys, I do need to prepare for my client session that's showing up here in just a bit. If you're interested in booking with me one-on-one, please use the link that's in this post or go to the website directly, and that's how you can book your private session with me one-on-one. Keep in mind, if there is ever a spammer who is saying that my face is telling you that they have something for you and you just need to give them money to get it, delete, block, and ban, and then send me a link to that profile, because then I want to report them. I know we've had some spammers in here today. my bad. I feel like at this point it's going to be part of the work until other things are arranged. We'll figure that out as we go and as we can. But thank you so much for coming to hang out with me, you guys. It's been fun. I hope you have a great holiday. I hope you have a great New Year's. Make your resolutions, make your commitments, make your plans, get into that massive action mode. That's always so fun to be in first of the year. And I think we might do some talking about those New Year's resolutions just to see if there's any support that we can do in advance to kind of help you see them through. See them through. Aw, you're very welcome, Esther. I appreciate it. Oh, Lori, I didn't see your question. It's all good. Happy holidays, you guys. Have a great, great, great rest of your day. Oops, I almost said wrong bye to the wrong one.